Thank you very much for assistance. And you can see now it is district Novy Liskovec. Which is located in Czech Republic in city of Brno, and you can see that almost all flats are in prefabricated housing stock. Such challenge we've got, and we have to deal with it because people living in their flats were not rich, but not very poor. It was a normal social structure, but they were dwellers. They pay rent and then expected that the municipality will take care about their flats. And another problem was public space, because the housing area was built without any concern on public space, without any social infrastructure, and without any deal with some community space where can people meet and have some social life, and we also have to deal with that. So big challenge and big impulse for us was that from 2000 we start to be involved in the international project, and international European networking project, 5th framework program. Name was research and development, and 13 European cities were involved in the project, and we all together try to find the way how to proper manage sustainable development projects in the cities. And so this experience from that project helped us to design strategy how to solve the problems in our housing area. So that we put on 3 lines. The project deals with rule of leadership, rules of partnership, and rule of participation in a whole context of the project. So that leadership means that you have to have a vision, and you have to have a power to implement the vision, and you have to encourage and motivate people around you who cooperate with you to follow the vision. Participation means that you have to use all capacity, expert capacity from universities, NGOs, and local community to use this for formulation and implementation of the vision. And partnership means that local people, inhabitants, and local initiative have to be involved in all parts of process, in planning process, in implementation, doing process, and also in using of results of the projects. So we start to deal with housing, and we achieve during 10 years all municipal housing stock in Novy Liskovec to rebuild it into low energy standard. But the aim was not only saving energy and saving money for inhabitants, and the aim was to improve the quality of living. And we also, in cooperation with experts from universities and NGO, achieved really a lot of innovations in details, construction details, and it is 10 or 15 years ago, and we use 20 centimeters of insulations and 3 glasses in windows, so that it was and still is unique in Czech Republic. And people now save more than 50% their cost for energies, more than 70% for energy for heat, and about 30% energy for hot water. And also one benefit of the project is also CO2 reduction. And people can follow their results of their houses on the internet, because we have energy management on the internet, and there are data for 15 years, all evaluation of the project, and also this is feedback for us to control if the situation in houses is going well. Another problem was buildings, public buildings, because all schools, kindergartens, town hall and everything, public buildings were in the same poor condition like houses. So, but it was much worse and much difficult to get money to rebuild it too. And we successfully used European funds, and we also rebuilt all our public buildings into low energy or almost passive standard. And also you can see that we also use some innovations, because external jalousies are not normal in Czech Republic until yet. Public space. It was big deal for us because neglected infrastructure was a big problem. So that we also from 2002 start to make a vision or strategy for public space, so that we would like to get our public space to open for people and to put it in such condition that people can live there, use it and play, children play. And the big challenge was not let cars everywhere. Then you can see that we really ask people to participate, but people don't like to sit in some room and discuss about plans. People like to go to the terrain and participate by hand too. It's much advantageable and much fun for them. But we also discuss with people future visibility of public space, but we go to the public space to discuss with them. And this is our last project, which is park inside in the housing area, which was last place without buildings. And interesting is that we try to implement new strategy how to deal with rainwater, not to put it into out of the area from in pipes, but to use it for making water reservoir and water in park. And you can see now that children have a big fun because there is biodiversity and also fish. So that we had also one fishing day to check and make a control what is in. And also we couldn't forget mobility. And this is one example, the space for cyclists and public transportation, because there is also bus line for buses, because our area has a good connection to the city center. You can get by public transport in 15 minutes in the city center, which is very attractive and which is a big advantage of our district. And so why we do it, everything. I think that we are doing it for future generations, so that it's all motivation for, it's big motivation for me. And I live in my district for 35 years, and my children live there, and my 3 grandchild live there, so that it's also for me, it's something like building my home, not building something strange or something different. And so for me it's feedback or lessons learned is that if you like to do something successful, you have to have a vision. You have to work on the vision and don't stop until you have some achievements, because when you only talk about vision and don't do it, it's never, nothing is happen. Thank you very much for attention.
when we speak about action, your presentation is your job, and thank you for this presentation. It is a concrete solution about what we need to have a relation with the citizen, and the politics is very important. So now I give you
The floor.
the floor. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Karima, and of course thank you, Jana, because this is when you want to create the bridge between the local, regional, and national, and of course European level, where you, Karima, is dealing with. It is very important to have the idea of what it is we want to create, or what it is we want to be a part of in the future. And therefore, it was very good to hear Jana first, because that is a local level, and I'm sure Effie will contribute to that too. And for me, as a minister for housing, urban development, and information technology, I need to think of all the details, but also try to build a certain amount of roofs, so we can try to gather all the different aspects of planning of the future, and especially our cities. So I have 8 years in the government, in the parliament, in the Swedish parliament, and sometimes colleagues to you, Karima, in the European Parliament says that it is your regional parliament up in north when they're talking about the Swedish parliament. And 8 years there in the opposition, and the last 4 years as a group leader of the Green group, Green fraction in the parliament. I really studied a lot of the effects on how governmental policies can actually make change and make it happen. But I also saw, especially in a Swedish way of dealing with politics, that the local governments, the municipalities, and as Jana put it, is where the power is when it is about trying to build a better future and a more sustainable future for especially our kids and coming generations. So it is a very interesting theme, and we are going to discuss it here. I want permission to show my presentation.
Yeah.
It's a small presentation about how we as the Swedish government, Red-Green, the Social Democrat and the Green Party government, is dealing with the issues.
Okay.